Okay, one of the issues I'm facing as a woman in engineering
Yeah.
is being called a man. Alpha bro, that kind of thing.
How it started.
Okay, guys. So I'm Mr. Chinedu, and today I'm going to be discussing about one of the most important occupations you can find in the world right now, and that's engineering. And it's very peculiar. Today's episode is going to be very peculiar because I'm going to be discussing with a female engineering student. For those of you who are aspiring to come into engineering and you are females and you are thinking, oh, I'm a woman, can I do engineering? I heard engineering is mostly for the men and all of those things. She's going to be answering your questions today about engineering. Let's get to meet her. So, what's your name, man?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Monica.
Monica. Okay, so Monica, you're currently a student of the University of Port Harcourt.
Yes.
So, what course are you studying?
I'm studying environmental engineering.
Environmental engineering. Okay, so why did you choose environmental engineering over other engineerings that we know, like what's this? Gas engineering, chemical engineering, petroleum engineering, and the rest? Why did you choose environmental engineering?
So environmental engineering is a branch of engineering that solves environmental problems.
Yeah.
If you look around us today, we have many environmental problems that people are keeping quiet to.
Yeah.
They're keeping short from.
Yeah.
Like our environment is not even friendly for our health,
Yeah.
basically. So we need to build up people that will save us, that will just remediate the situation,
Yeah.
because it's getting bad by the day.
Yeah.
Due to WHO
Yeah.
organization, their standard for living
Yeah.
has dropped drastically. It drops every year, and that's because of our poor environmental health, our
Okay.
poor environment. So I want to base the treat waters,
Yeah.
go into soil, go into waste
The environment, basically. So air, water, land.
yes.
Trying to see how to make it more conducive
Yes.
for human beings to
Live
live
and dwell.
within it. Okay. So I want to specifically address your gender. Sorry, but I noticed, or we know, that most of the engineering students are male. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask, how many females do you have in your class currently?
Okay, we are 9 females.
9 females out of how many students?
86.
So guys, 9 females out of 86 students. So it means how many are males now? 77 males and only 9 females.
Yeah.
So why do you think females don't want to go into this field called engineering? Why?
I don't know, but I think for me, I feel like it's a mindset. Because when I was coming into engineering, you hear stuff like, you can't survive there, it's a man course, you do more of maths. But they are seeming to forget that the brain is not having gender.
Exactly.
So the brain can function.
Yeah.
Even as a female, you can understand maths, you can understand physics.
Yeah.
Basically, these are the principles you must understand to be in engineering.
Yeah.
So if as a female I can understand maths and I can understand physics, I can understand chemistry,
And you can
what
succeed in the field.
is restricting me from being an engineer?
Yeah. Okay, so but this is academics now. Now when we go to the practical aspect of the field, because you know engineering. So please do a show them the people who are working. Show them the men who are working. Right? Because there's somewhere I'm driving to. Show them the men who are working. So you see those men who are working, right? So you see those men who are working now.
Yes.
That is the layman's understanding of an engineer.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody who has to be on site, who has to, even if he's not doing the work, but he has to be there physically to see how, let's say a civil engineer, for instance, have to be on site to monitor workers doing these kinds of jobs. And sometimes he may even have to lend 1 or 2 hands, and then he has to be tough. Like a man has to be tough for him to be able to direct other men, because these kinds of jobs are done by men. And so a man standing and then saying, "Oh, have you done this?" will make it more, efficient and all of that. Do you think that notion is correct? That a man can better survive in engineering?
No. Basically,
so you think women can do these things I just mentioned?
Yes, because of recent we just concluded our survey camp.
Okay.
It's a program between the civil and environmental engineers.
Okay, so civil and environmental engineering.
Yes. It's a camp of surveying where you will survey for the purpose of leveling.
Okay.
So when we were doing all of those, we had to carry instruments from the field, from our classrooms to the field and all of those.
Yeah.
I wasn't permitted to carry, because most of those instruments are even weightier than me.
Okay.
But then I was the one doing the computations. I was the one picking up all the reports. When we were to submit our report, it was a compilement of everything that happened in the field.
Yeah.
And it was carried out by me. Basically, we had 15 girls from the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering when we were doing all of these things.
Yeah.
And we were shared across each group, one girls each. So the girl in the group tends to do more of the writing, even more of the calculations, even more of the, should I say, the brain work here. Because when we are in the field, they are giving you numbers.
Yeah.
And now you have to meet a standard error.
Yeah.
So you have to start doing your back minus front and this and that to get something plain.
Yeah.
So this, I feel, as an engineer, as a female engineer, you have a place in the industry. Your brain is needed.
Okay, so
you need it.
Maybe not necessarily having to carry.
Yes, engineering is not all about the loads nowadays.
The thinking and organization of the site. Thank you for that insight. But lastly, before you go, I still want to ask, in this field of engineering, because there are people who are desiring to come into engineering, maybe your field, which is environmental, maybe chemical, maybe mechanical, mechatronics, and the rest. Yeah. What do you think the minimum score should be? How well should they perform for them to be able to gain admission into this field of engineering? I'm sorry, before you answer, what are the subjects that must be present in both in JAMB and WAEC?
Okay, the subject basically for JAMB is physics, maths, chemistry, and English.
Okay, physics, maths, chemistry, and English. Okay.
Then for
WAEC,
you must have 5 credit course.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
So you'll be having maths, English, physics, chemistry, biology. For some other people, they put geography.
Okay.
Yes, it's acceptable. In my side though,
yeah,
you can use geography too.
Okay.
Then I think that's the major courses, and you should have at least 200 and above to get
in JAMB.
Yes, an admission in the University of Port Harcourt. You know their admission range varies from year to year.
Yeah, from year to year.
But to be on a safer side, just have 200 and above. Your admission is kind of certain.
Okay, so this question, I don't want you to be partial about it. What is the most lucrative engineering field you know? Don't say because you are doing environmental. It has to be environmental. Which of the fields do you think is most lucrative and why?
I'm not of the ideology of being lucrative, being segmented to one place.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, if you look around the engineering field, we need each other to survive.
Yeah.
We need each other to survive. For instance, if there is no petrol, there's no petroleum and gas, then we will not be having fuels.
Yeah.
We will not be having other things. But if there is no environmental engineering, then our health is
also at risk.
At great risk.
Yeah.
And if there is no chemical engineer, there will be no cement produced for the civil engineers to build up. Then if there is no mechanical engineers who build up the machines,
to do the work of the engineer.
If there is no mechatronics engineering, how do we connect mechanical and electrical?
Okay.
So you see, we all fall back to each other at the end of the day. It's just depending on where you can strive as a person. It's not the department.
So it depends on what your let me rephrase what you're trying to say. Is based on what you want to do in the future.
Yes.
The passion you have.
Which problem you want to solve.
Okay, so it falls back to what problem, not necessarily which one will make more money for you.
No, because at the end of the day, this thing is a brain work. We have people that comes out from school and they don't know anything about the course they study. You don't tell me that person will strive in the field. Yeah. So the thing is, whatever you're doing, please do it well, because there are opportunities everywhere. Okay. You just need the right preparation and opportunity to hit yourself to profound success.
What are the challenges you're facing as a woman in engineering?
Okay, one of the issues I'm facing as a woman in engineering is being called a man. My classmates want to greet me, they'll be like, "Hey man, how far bro?" That kind of thing. They say that we are all boys in engineering. So we are accepted that. And I think one other thing again that is not highly acceptable was discrimination. They have this high level of discrimination for females. Oh, you're not supposed to be doing this. For instance, if they want to give course reps, you hear things like a woman cannot be leading over men.
Wow.
How? Where is it said?
Wow.
So that's one of the major like those things affect them a whole lot. You'll be hearing things like a woman can be my president. We are all men.
Wow.
Whereas they are forgetting that this is a capacity game. This is a game of how much you can offer. So a woman can be doing so fine for herself, but because she's a woman, she's restricted. She's limited. She can't go far. So that's one of the major problem, I guess.
Okay, so you guys have heard from somebody in the field of engineering, the challenges, the opportunities, the reasons why you should do engineering. And I'm glad and I know that we've learned one or two things from what she just said. So I want to thank you so much, Monica.
You're welcome.
For being on our show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.